Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fullest football vloggers podcast we have had so far. Got lots of guests in for you tonight, so it's going to be a really interesting night. I'm going to go around the squares and introduce you to each one. So first of all, we have got 18 Dapper next to me. He's a Doncaster Rovers fan. Good evening, Daniel.
Evening, Lee. Thanks for having me on.
Good evening. I just can't remember the technology now and how to make you big. So just for now, let's see if
I'm
I can
right
do
being
it with,
small.
Next game, we've got Punk Chef. Punk Chef 41. The clue is in the chef bit because he's a Sheffield Wednesday fan and he's called Jake. Good evening, Jake.
Evening. How are we all doing?
We're all doing fine. Thank you. Underneath him, we've got Luke Turton from Turton Talks Football. He's a Nottingham Forest fan. He's representing Nottingham Forest today. So good evening, Luke.
Evening, Lee.
Next to him, we've got Ben, who we all know is Cod's Vlogs. If you've been on before, you'll know Ben at Cod Vlogs. Good evening, Ben. Are we well?
Evening, Lee.
Good evening. Now, I've got a couple of new guests in tonight. We've got Dave in. Good evening, Dave.
Evening, Lee.
You are Bristol City fan. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Bristol City fan. Underneath him, we've got Alex. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening, Lee. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, very welcome. And next to Alice, we've got Peter Dunbar, who is our Scottish representative. So for all those in Scotland, we don't normally know anything about Scotland. So Peter will be telling us all what's going on up there, up north, where it's very cold.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening. I'm liking the new setup there, Peter. It's looking really good.
Cheers,
right.
mate.
We'll go round the squares. So we'll go first of all to Doncaster Rovers. To Daniel, how's it going for Doncaster Rovers? How was it last week?
Thanks to Fleetwood, we started a little bit of a blip. I don't think I've been on since that game.
No.
And I started Fleetwood off on a decent run themselves. But yeah, we three defeats on the bounce. 4-1 against Sunderland, that was tough to take. Then getting beat by Accrington Stanley, promotion rivals. But we've stopped the rot potentially with a 3-3 draw to Hull. The story on Saturday, James Coppinger, it was his shirt that he designed, came on for the last 10 minutes. There was 12 minutes injury time. Stepped up last minute, free kick, top corner, fantastic. But I think that's papered over the cracks a little bit. We look very shaky defensively in the first half. Set pieces, crosses, headers. It's our weakness at the minute. So I'm not looking forward to facing Medine tomorrow night.
I don't think he's playing, so I think you're all right. And if you're playing Blackpool, we're absolutely hopeless at crosses and balls into the box. We always find the first man of the other team, so I wouldn't worry so much about any crosses into the box from us. We have to do.
Who
things
knows
in different
what can
ways.
happen then? Just got to keep Jerry Yates quiet.
And set paces were crap. At times we're crap, but we're a dangerous team. We really are. We will talk about that in a minute when we get round to me. So we'll move on to Jake. Good evening, Jake. Sheffield Wednesday. Is it all? What's life like in Sheffield? Because it's normally.
If you're going by both clubs, shit. At the minute, to be honest, we're in the position where we're on 28 points now. We're in the middle of Wickham and Rotherham, and we just can't seem to get a good run going to get out. We lost to Birmingham, who were in the bottom three before the game, and the fan base had gone very toxic all of a sudden again. I'm starting to think, are we preparing for life in League One next season? Because it's just not looking positive.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound good at all, Jake. I thought you were pulling yourself out of it.
We were, but this remarkable thing: if a team is on a really bad run, come play Sheffield Wednesday, and we'll get your run going. Every team that's been on a bad run beat us. Birmingham hadn't won in, I think it was like 5. That we played Millwall, who hadn't won at home since October. They stuffed us 4-1. And we got Brentford on Wednesday night, who haven't won a game in 3, so we're going to get battered.
Blimey.
It's all fun and games at Wednesday at the minute.
It sounds a lot of fun. It sounds it's like a car crash club at the moment, isn't it, Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's good entertainment. Right, we'll move on to Turton Talks Football. This is Luke from Turton Talks Football. Hi, Nottingham Forest. Come on, how's your week gone? And of course, we will be looking forward to a big game for you as well this week, isn't it?
Yeah, we went from the last podcast into the Swansea game, and we played our best performance of the season and lost. Then we went into the weekend and played Blackburn in one of my drab performances and won. So football is great. We had both ends of the spectrum with the opposite results. So going into Rotherham tomorrow night, I have no idea what to expect. And that's the beauty of football.
Are they a bit your bogey team, Rotherham? I think Dore normally says they're a bit of a bogey team. Are they Rotherham? Are they one that...
That's Doncaster.
Doncaster's got Rotherham as a bogey team.
Do me a favour, Luke. Beat them, please.
We need to. We're hoping that this one's the bigger than the Derby game, to be honest. I'm more looking at the Rotherham game for picking up the win.
Right, okay. I suppose it's an important game. Cheers, Luke. We'll move on next to you. We've got Ben from Cod's Vlogs, who's just gone over 6,000 subscribers, haven't you, Ben? Which is yes. Woohoo! Ben has done 6,000. He's been talking about it forever and a day. It's been coming. But how are you feeling about that, Ben? 7,000 now, is it? Is that the next goal? 10.
It's a bit like Fleetwood actually playing well or winning and scoring a goal at some point. It looked a while off, but it finally came. And I'm delighted with it. And I actually thought I would be in a much worse situation, with the channel when, the streaming. I had a look at some statistics today. I think I'm only 70 subscribers worse off than I would do if I would be doing vlogs. So
that's
considering
amazing.
I've been streaming and, they don't do as well when, after the game, I think, the numbers have been good. But I'm delighted. So thank you for having me on and thank you for all the nice messages. Fleetwood, honestly, Saturday, phenomenal. We were absolutely terrific. Charlton are, I'd say, the worst team I've seen this season. They were absolutely awful. Defensively, a shambles, giving the ball away, so sloppy. The goal that we scored, great goal. Duffy picks the ball up, Vassell, nice turn. Duffy into Madden, fluid football. It really was. After that, there was only one team in the game. They had one shot on target, scored it in the first few minutes. That's been our problem this year. We've either been conceding early goals in the first 15 minutes or conceding late goals in the last 15 minutes. So if we can stop that, we'll be okay. 17 games to go. I'll be happy with mid-table right now. We've got, 3 very tough games coming up in Sunderland away. You've never beaten us. And then we've got
a bogey side, the Sunderland, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're a bogey side.
Yeah, but it counts for nothing on the day. It really doesn't. And we've got Accrington, who's John Coleman's won, I think, 2 out of the 8 games he's played against Fleetwood. So not the best of records, but he has got a couple of wins. Then we play Lincoln, who in my opinion, going about the business really well and they're winning games of football. And they'll be up there come the end of the year. So 3 tough games, and if we can get 4 points out of it, I'd snatch your hand off for it right now.
Wow. Just talking about your 6,000, just going back to that quickly, that's like 3 times your fan base, which is quite amazing. How much money? It's definitely double your fan base, would you say? Double your season tickets? How many season tickets you sell at Fleetwood?
1,300. So
so you're 4 times season ticket base, which I tell you what, that in alone needs another round of applause, because that is phenomenal, Ben. Not saying it's a fantastic achievement to get that many. It's just so good.
It is tough following Fleetwood with a limited, fan page, and there's some vloggers that have got who don't even show their face, who's got 50k, you know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be an interesting one, but I'm delighted in on to the next milestone in 7k. It's literally like management. You're never really happy until you can't get any better really, and it's 7k next, and you got to keep focused really.
Yeah, Gurney's actually saying, I don't know if he's having a little bit of a dig at you, but he's saying, I don't think all his followers are codheads, Lee, but I think that's testament to you. You're very popular outside. Yeah, you're popular outside of
you could say
Fleetwood,
all your subscribers aren't Blackpool,
You could.
You've got to branch out, when you follow.
You have. It's all about...
when you're doing away vlogs, you get away subscribers.
Of course you do,
videos.
Of course you do.
I'm sub to, all you guys, and I'm at a Doncaster, Sheffield Wednesday, Forrest, Coventry fan, for example. So, I just like football.
Yeah, of course you do. Absolutely. Right. I'm going to let Luke. Luke has brought 2 guests on tonight for us, which is very kindly done for us. So you can introduce your first guest to us if you want, which is Dave.
This is Dave. Who is? Tell me the podcast you're on, Dave. I
do a Forever Bristol City podcast. I've occasionally been on one stream in Bristol as well. Those are the 2 main ones, focused obviously on Bristol City.
So, Dave, talk to me a bit about latest in Bristol City.
Latest is hopefully good news, but I'll probably take you back over the last kind of 6 or 7 games, which have been pretty depressing and probably rival Punk Chef as well in terms of how badly we're doing. We're 7 defeats on the trot, six in the league. 5
we
games
played you
left
twice already, haven't we? So you can't bet that win, I don't think.
And we're now at the depths where we can't even get a corner. We did get a shot on target on Saturday, albeit a 30-yarder that I think was 0.02 on the old XG. So we are in a big struggle at the moment. We're plummeting down the league. We're in 15th place with a tough game against Middlesbrough at the Riverside tomorrow night. But the good news is hopefully an ex-Sheffield Wednesday man's coming on board, and we're just waiting for the announcement. In fact, he may have been announced, and that's Nigel Pearson is hopefully coming into the end of the season with a view to a longer term if both parties are mutually agreeable to stay, which is
we've been wanting him as our manager for years, and he won't touch it because he still lives in Sheffield. So
flat shame with Joey Barton. I've heard Joey Barton made a little joke because Barton was a player when Pearce was a coach at Newcastle, and he goes, I know more about football than you, so I can help you if you want when we flat share.
It'll be an interesting night out in Bristol City Centre if those 2 come across each other, I should imagine.
They're good mates, to be fair.
Yeah, good football people.
Exactly, spot on.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's interesting to know about Bristol City. Thank you. Below him, we've got Peter Dunbar, who came on last week. He stole the show ready for the last hour. So he is kind of come on to tell us all about Scottish football. So for all those that are watching from Scotland, let's hear what Peter has to say. How is life in Scotland, Peter?
Life's pretty good, actually. What a weekend we had. It looks like obviously Rangers will wrap up the title. They've got 7 points to win. To achieve until they pick up the title. Yeah. And unfortunately for Celtic, that looks like it's going to be at Parkhead. All they need to do is win the next 2 games, then draw at Parkhead, and they wrap up the title.
Blimey.
So unless Celtic draw points, I'm hoping Celtic draw points because
they will do the rubbish.
Or drop points because going to Parkhead. To go to Parkhead it's not going to be good for Scotland, I don't think.
No.
Just with the outside troubles out of Tartan.
Do you think there'll be...
Rangers fans will love it.
Are you still experiencing outside troubles even in lockdown? Yeah, there's still trouble because there'll be nobody at the game, obviously, will there? So people out?
Yeah,
they'll still be there causing trouble. It's very sad, isn't it?
Yeah, I would expect fans to turn up at the ground from both sides, I think.
Yeah,
because Celtic, they'll be frustrated, and Rangers fans, because they've not won anything for the last 9 years, is pretty dangerous.
It's amazing the journey Rangers have gone through.
On a happier note.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, on a happier note, it was a good weekend for results for St Johnstone. They totally smashed Motherwell because Motherwell they've been on a sort of up and down performance since Graham Alexander came in. They started off well, but then I think part of the problem at the weekend, they had about 6 or 7 players out injured, first team regulars, Scottish internationalists and players like that. So they really had a tough time at the weekend. So they had a younger squad out, and St Johnstone, all their players, they're fighting for a place for the cup final next week. So they went at it with Motherwell. St Mirren and Livingston at the weekend, that was 1 each, and that was a fairly even. That's two teams that had a fantastic run of results.
Yep.
But Livingston over the last couple of weeks, they've dropped points. But their next game is against Rangers next week, during the week, evening game. So Livingston is always a difficult place to go. It's a tight pitch. It's an artificial pitch. And they always seem to get themselves up for playing the Old Firm. So if Rangers fans think that's 3 points in the bag, then they need to look again, because that's going to be a very, very difficult game.
Yep.
Hamilton Accies against Hibs. Hibs, they won 2-0. A couple of fantastic goals. Unfortunately, Hamilton Accies got a player sent off after 12 minutes. A young player. He's about 18-year-old. It was a Jamie Hamilton. He gets sent off. That's the 5th time in his Hamilton career. He's only 18.
Blind.
And he's been sent off 5 times.
Do you think the referee's targeting?
So
he's been
it was a difficult game. Accies, they normally... Yeah, he's 5
is
times.
He a target?
He's only 18.
Is he a target? You know the referee's singling him out. Can you hear me?
No, I don't think they're singling him out. I think it might have just been down to experience.
Right.
See, being young. I think with him just being young, he's misjudging timings. Plus, he was up against Boyle, and Boyle he's got blistering pace, and I think that didn't help either.
No.
He went in for a challenge, and Boyle, he was just really, really quick, and he just mistimed the challenge. So it was unfortunate. Accies are really, really good. See, become the turn of the year on year, they seem to just pull results out the bag. At the beginning of the season, everyone thinks Hamilton Accies are favourites to go down. And then all of a sudden, come the turn of the year, they seem to bring out results and survive. I mean, they're masters of it. It's fantastic. I mean, it's great. But at the weekend, there's some really, really good games. Obviously, the pick of the bunch is obviously Rangers. They started off pretty slow. Dundee United, they played a sort of diamond in midfield with 2 strikers up front. So the sort of point of the diamond, Nicky Clark, he was really, really good. He's an experienced player. He ran through the middle, and that's where they seem to be causing problems with Rangers, because Rangers play wide down the flanks. Down the channels. They created space in the midfield, in the middle of the pitch for Dundee United. And Dundee United, that's where they had a lot of success, was through the middle. And for the first 20-25 minutes, McGregor saved Rangers. He had 3 fantastic stops. And Rangers could have been about 2-3-0 down within the first 25 minutes. So but after the first goal, United started to sit back. And that's how they, after the first goal, and then there were a couple of deflections the first couple of goals. It was unfortunate for the Dundee United keeper. There's nothing you can do with that as a keeper. When you take a shot, you put your body in the position of it, and then obviously a deflection, and it just totally puts you off, wrong foots you. So, but Aribo, he scored a fantastic goal in the second half. Came in from Rangers' left-hand side with a throw-in. Came inside, he picked it up, done a 1-2 with Morelos, ran into the box in between 2 players, and a powerful left-foot shot into the bottom corner. Cracking goal. Really, really was a good goal. Then the shocker of the weekend was Ross County 1, Celtic 0.
Oh, yes.
That was...
We'll maybe save that.
We'll maybe save that to the second unbelievable.
Half. We'll say that to the second half, Peter. All right, we'll find out about that because that was a big shot. We'll leave that one as a
very big shot.
We'll leave it. Yep. Right, we'll give you a little rest on that. Cheers, Peter. That's fantastic. Right, and I'm going to allow Luke again to introduce his second guest. He's been waiting there patiently. Alex Craig.
Yes, this is Alex Craig, who is a Coventry vlogger. So, Alex, talk to us about Coventry.
Well, since the last time I spoke to you, things have got a little bit better. I was quite negative a couple of weeks ago after we lost Cardiff, you lot, and Norwich. We got a point at home to Watford. Our fans all of a sudden seemed to think that was great. Like, I didn't think we played particularly well, other than we defended quite good, which we've always seemed to do anyway. We don't tend to concede a lot of goals, and if we do, it's on an off day. But we picked 3 points up for the first time since our game with Sheffield Wednesday in January on Saturday.
Slight dig there, Alex. Dig it.
No dig.
Dig it.
No dig. That's just.
No, they
that's just me
actually
being
really
factual.
deserved it.
You had to slip it in.
Absolutely.
But I'll be honest. Since that game, we've not really had a good game. We picked
Oh,
3
it's nice
points.
that we can do it to someone else then.
The thing is, when we played you at your place, we were terrible. So I guess we've shared the points there. But 3 points at home to Brentford, 12:30 on Sky Sports. They say never bet on the early kickoff. I put a tweet out saying hopefully we've let everyone's bet down, because I don't think any of our fans expected us to win that game. We played in a little bit like Doncaster, a one-off shirt as well. It's that one behind me. There's only like 3,000 of them. So that was for all the season ticket holders. And we've got 100% record in that. So quite a decent result. But looking onto our next few games, still a little bit nervous. I don't feel like we'll go down. I never have all season. It's just we've got Swansea, then Blackburn, then Middlesbrough, and it's games coming quite quick and quite fast, and they're all tough games. I mean, Swansea, they've been up there in the top 6 pretty much all season. Middlesbrough have been pushing on, and then Blackburn got a really experienced side, the likes of Bradley Dack and former Coventry striker Adam Armstrong. So we've got some tough games coming up, and I feel like we've played all our winnable ones, and I think we need probably another 12 points, but if we can do that, I think we'll be okay.
What's the feeling like in Coventry? Because obviously you've been on a very long journey back to where you are now. You've been, without a home, really, a proper home for years. Are you still playing at Birmingham?
Yeah, we're still at Birmingham. You asked me how the feeling is. I mean, last season was probably one of the most positive seasons I've seen us have. I think it was just the football we were playing on the pitch. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of supporters that are very against us playing in Birmingham, and I'd say I'm one of them. I feel as if it wasn't probably the only thing I actually do other than go to sixth form, I don't think I'd have been going to the games last season. But I think it was just me saying, look, I don't agree with being here, but I want to support the team, and it paid off with us last season. And I mean, the Blackpool game for one, if you guys remember.
Don't remember. Of course, I
don't
remember.
want to have a little dig, but that game was the one game. And I don't want to sit and have a little dig. That was the one game where I turned around after that. We were 2-0 down. We pulled it back, and I went, you know what? I think we can do this. And since that point, we went on. We pushed on. I think we lost 4-0 to Rotherham. We lost to Tranmere, and we lost to Shrewsbury, which 2 of them seems to be our bogey teams anyway. So Ben says it doesn't matter on the day, even with one of the best League One sides in recent years, it still does matter. But no, looking back on last season, I feel as if we were quite positive then. And even though we were, well, I say we, probably the minority was saying get rid of Robbins after 2 losses against 2 top 6 teams, I think we're still quite positive looking at it. I think the reason we're not in Coventry is because the fans aren't here. I think it's a lot more expensive to get a deal at the Rico than St Andrews, but that's a different story for a different day.
I think
but I'd say we're a lot more positive than you'd expect us to be.
Looking from the outside in, obviously, I think it's been not a blessing, but it's been quite a good season for you because nobody's been going to football anyway. So it doesn't really matter where you're playing this season. It's not affecting you. But obviously, when you're back at, when we're back in, you've got to travel quite a long way to go and watch your team, haven't you? How far away is it from like Coventry to go to watch them play at Birmingham?
So for me, it's an hour either way, really, on a coach or a train. It's 30 odd miles, and I mean, so it's extra travelling all the time, isn't it? And cost and everything. Someone that lives not even too far from the Rico as well, it was quite frustrating because a lot of my mates would get the bus to the games or get the train depending on whereabouts they live. So they would always have that travel aspect, and me and probably a handful of others would walk.
Right.
But because the Rico's so kind of out of Coventry anyway, a lot of fans weren't as bothered. But for me, who kind of lives quite close to the ground, it was quite a little bit annoying. But that travel aspect comes with supporting the team. I feel obviously going to all the away games as well. It's not. It didn't really bother me as much as I thought it would. Really.
Is there a chance of you moving back to the Rico? Would you say? Is it on the cards? Because I can't understand why they don't want you back there, if I'm being honest now, because
I feel as it depends who you ask, really. I feel if you ask me, I'll sit here and say, yes, there's some fans that claim they know inside knowledge that it will never happen, but that's what they were saying the season we were in Northampton. So I don't think never say never. I think it was on the cards last summer. I know someone that works kind of security at the Rico, and he said that Coventry City had people come in and they tested the quality of the pitch, which I believe is quite expensive to do. And I thought, why would they do that if they had no ambition of coming back, or they had no one suggesting that it was going to be led to? I think it was quite a rushed decision that we were going to stay at St Andrews for another season, because it just came out of nowhere. There was no kind of like the season we left the Rico, that last game against Shrewsbury. It was a police overkill because everybody knew we wouldn't be there the next season. And I feel as if that season we got promoted, I think there was a lot of optimism, because obviously Championship football, playing in your home city, just makes perfect sense.
Of course it does.
A lot more revenue, bigger sides coming to the ground.
Yeah.
But I just feel as if it will happen eventually, whether it's at the Rico or we've got plans for a new stadium at Warwick Cuny, which is kind of South Coventry. The only thing with that is that's going to take years to happen. But hopefully we'll be back in Coventry as soon as possible.
Let's hope you are. For all football fans everywhere, we know this. We know the troubles you've gone through at Coventry. We're all one big football family. I don't like, what happened with you, and I don't like the fact you've been out of a stadium for years. And I think it's a fantastic story that you've come back, to be honest. And I do wish you all the best, that you do actually get into, back into the Rico or back into playing in Coventry, because it's, that's where you should be, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's Coventry. You should be playing in Coventry.
Hopefully.
So best of luck. Right, I think there's only me to go on.
Can I ask, what's the update on Wigan?
Oh God!
See, the clubs
So
are in
basically,
a bit of a mess.
They've had a few owners wanting to buy into the football club. The EFL rejected one of them. They're still going by on a week-to-week contract with the manager, Liam Richardson. So officially, Simon Grayson's the only fourth to bottom longest serving manager, because AFC Wimbledon sacked the manager, and a couple of others clubs sacked managers. Northampton and Bristol Rovers sacked managers recently. They're going about it on the money that they raised. They raised over £1 million on the fundraising. They got a lot of money from player sales and losing a lot of wages. They're only allowed 23 members in the squad, which is interesting. If you've noticed, they've chopped and changed it quite a lot. The squad's quite young. They did bring in Johnson at the back. They brought in a few, Curtis Tilts, Zach Cloughs, and they brought Callum Lang back. So that it still remains like that. They're still going by, getting on. They've not sold any season tickets. I think they're the only club to do that. So the fans still have to buy the iFollow passes for a tenner every home game. But yeah, that's all I know. Personally, they've had a few offers, but nothing's been.
Because that's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? A bit of a catch-22 with regards to season tickets, because obviously the supporters, they want, if you're paying your money for your season ticket, you're supporting the club, but the club might not be there next season.
It is a bit of a
I hate you, by the way. I hate
so
you.
It's a bit of a difficult one.
Somebody give me some stick in the comments.
Calling us a pub team.
Just ignore it. You've been called that for a long time, so
I used to.
I think should we move on to my team?
Yeah, go on.
All right, I'm going. Bye.
Yes. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Go on, we've dragged it out.
You're playing Donny Rovers tomorrow night.
We're playing well and we've gone above you. Is that what you can't deal with?
No. You win one game and you do nearly a 2.5 hour show on, or you get in the playoffs. We won the football.
We've won 2.
Well, 2 games of football.
Ben, just 1 minute, just because obviously you're always having a go at me. But what does it say? Does it say we are going to make the playoffs, or does it say can we?
playoffs. Ooh,
Can we do it? Yes. Can we do it? There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I'm really weird. I don't
what's
know
so
what's
bad about
happened to you,
that?
Lee. I'm not sure what's happened to you because this is you're normally doom and gloom. What's happened? You seem positive about your club for a change.
You sound like bloody Jane now coming on saying I'm glass half full. That's what she always says on the bloody live streams, for God's sake. I get stick on here.
As soon as you started singing, I was like, that's me done.
You started singing?
What singing?
You were singing after your stream, out on your stream at the end.
Was that?
E-I-E-I-E-I-O. What
the football league we go. Come
when
on.
Blackpool get promoted, and that is a when.
You just can't take it because we're above you in the league.
No. I've just said you'll get promoted in the next couple of years. So,
you're going to get promoted this year.
If you don't go this year, you go up in the next 2 years, right? I believe that you will go up. That will be a very dark day for me on my Twitter account.
Well, it's the end of Fleetwood. It's the end of Fleetwood. You've gone once we go up. No chance.
Well,
you've only got 2,000 fans now, and half of them are Blackpool fans that left in the not up anymore. So you're down to 1,000 once we get into the championship. You've had it, pal. Right, anyway. Talking about how we went on, we had a great week. We got 2 massive 1-0 victories, and any coach will tell you 1-0 victories are the hardest victories because you just can't make a mistake. You can't let the other team in. It's tight. Jerry Yates scored a wonder goal. If you get to see it, absolutely brilliant. He was almost fouled on the halfway line, got up off the floor and carried on and just took 3 defenders on and buried it. And he is coming on fire. Blackpool, top of the form table. I think we're going to make the playoffs, if I'm being honest. That's what we're thinking there. We've only got little Doncaster Rovers.
I would take a 1-0 win from now until the end of the season.
I go 1-0. I go 1-0 all the way.
Just quickly.
Go on, definitely.
Go on, come on.
Neil, by the way, I have never said we would finish above Blackpool. If you look at my start of the season prediction.
What's this comment? Sorry, Ben.
Neil Mitchell, Ben said at the start of the season, Fleetwood will finish above Blackpool, guaranteed, right? In my prediction video, I had Fleetwood 6th, right? I had Blackpool 4th. In my mid-table prediction at the end of December, I had Fleetwood 10th. I had Blackpool 8th. So, I'd like to know where that comment's come from.
I don't know. I think he's just digging you. I think you did say at the start of the season, because if I remember rightly, you weren't very happy with the way the transfer market had gone. You were in a bit of a downer on it all, and then all of a sudden Fleetwood started to play really well, and I think it was a bit of a shock shock to you as well. But since then, it's been a bit of a rocky road for Fleetwood, and you've now got Simon Grayson in, which. Well, Blackpool fans can't even look at him really. Jane couldn't watch Sunderland Until I Die until the other week. She's only managed to do the first series finally because she couldn't stand looking at him. But anyway, we've got a game tomorrow.
Right? Lee, I'm from Scotland, right?
Yes.
Ryan's a massive Blackpool fan. I'm not. I don't know much about the Blackpool Fleetwood. What's the rivalry really like?
There isn't any rivalry.
Is it a kid-on rivalry?
There's not. Let's put it this way. It's a rivalry. It's not
Rangers Celtic rivalry, is it?
No, it's not. It's more like you and your younger brother kind of thing. Right. Yeah, where you kind of don't mind him, but he's a pain in the arse. So you always got to stitch him up and all that stuff. It's that kind of relationship with us and Fleetwood. It's not a massive rivalry, but we don't want to lose to Fleetwood, and Fleetwood don't want to lose to us. And it's local. You don't have to travel very far outside of Blackpool to get to Fleetwood. So we're very, very close.
Lee,
and
is Blackpool the noisy neighbour?
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
It would seem that way, but we have this derby now, and it's getting bigger, and it's now a real derby, as Ben will tell you. I'll admit it's now a derby game, and everyone keeps telling me. You always say it is a derby.
No, I just like disagree.
You're just being contrary. That's what it is.
Ben,
contrary, Mary.
If Blackpool's not your local rival, were you saying Southport's your biggest rivalry?
I just like disagreeing with Lee.
I like that. But massive props up there from the Blackpool fans too. Alex Craig has just pointed out at Southport.
all I know is I mention one word in this house, and Ryan goes apeshit. And all I need to say is Preston.
Yes.
And he goes mental.
We hate Preston. We absolutely hate Preston. Preston, it's a rivalry that's gone on for over 100 years and stuff. So
Lee,
yeah, we really
before you
don't
start
like
talking about the Doncaster match. Dave might have some breaking news.
Oh, right. Okay. Dave has got some breaking news. Breaking in, Dave.
Live on air.
Live on air.
Nigel Pearson has officially been appointed by Bristol City. So
good manager. Good appointment.
Oh, that's a good appointment.
Wrongly sat by Watford.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Why was he sat by Watford? Did anybody understand?
Watford are run by morons.
Yeah, exactly. Where was he in the table? They were quite high up, weren't they, when they sacked him? He was doing really well. And it never made any sense to me.
I've got a story about Watford. Well, a Watford fan anyway. I had Mike on from Voices of the Vic prior to the Bristol City game.
Yeah.
And he said to me that after that game, they were going to sack Munoz because they weren't happy with the performances. They've not lost since. Since he made that comment, they haven't lost, and they beat Bristol City 6-0. Okay. Sorry, Dave.
No, that's okay. We were as awful as we were on Saturday as well. We were going for a really, really bad spell at the moment. We look absolutely.
Nigel Pearson will book your trend. He'll get people playing for that shirt again.
I'm sure he will. He's a
bit of a tough.
Are you happy with that, Dave? Is that as good as you could have hoped for?
I think we as fans we've been there thinking you get the kind of unrealistic shouts of people like Eddie Howe, and to me I thought Nigel Pearson we wouldn't go for him and he wouldn't go for us. So the fact that we have, he's a league above what I thought we'd be looking at, and it's no disrespect. I really fancied Paul Cook coming in. I thought he'd be a really good appointment for us. But I think the fans were worried we'd get someone like Michael Appleton. There's a big history with Appleton and our CEO, and which is a bit toxic at the moment. So I think
he's doing a good job, though, isn't he, at Lincoln?
He is, yeah. And I'd be open-minded about that, but to get someone of Pearson's caliber, and I think the way we're playing at the moment, our players need someone who's going to instill that confidence in them. And I think Pearson's that. He's very protective of his players. He's got this big kind of persona that he's a bit, an angry man, and he'll have fights in the change rooms. But I've listened and watched him a lot over the years, and he's not like that. He might be with the media and, with his chairman, but he's not like that with his players. He's a real kind of looks after his boys, and I think that's exactly what we need at the moment.
He's an experienced manager as well. Yeah. He's an experienced manager, and I think his record, he's pretty. Well, it's pretty remarkable. It's a very good record, Nigel Pearson. I think that's a fantastic appointment for you. Yeah. I really think you should be happy.
And Sheffield Wednesday still haven't hired a manager since we lost Pulis.
Jake, is this rivaling Derby takeover for the longest drawn out saga known to man?
Getting there. The whole manager talk for us has just gone completely quiet. No one's saying anything. It's a bit worrying, really. I think the owners we're going to keep the assistant caretaker even till the end of the season because he was doing a good job, and now results are not going great. I have no idea with the club at the moment. 1 minute you know something, next minute you don't. Next minute you've got your owner turning around and saying he wasn't an advisor, but 2 months before that he was an advisor. It's a mess. It's a mess, and I don't like trying to figure it out. It hurts my head.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I'm bringing into the stream, folks, 9th on, so we now can actually play noughts and crosses if you want to. If you're at home, you can play noughts and crosses on this. But we've just brought in one Rovers vlogs here, and so we've got Bristol Rovers and we've got Bristol City in the chat, haven't we? You've just appointed Nigel Pearson. What do you think at One Rovers Vlogs? You sacked your manager. This is Charlie, by the way, if anybody doesn't know.
Charlie just got Barton in.
Josephine.
Yes, Barton in. So, yes, they've both got 2 new managers. What do we think in Bristol of Bristol Rovers of Joey Barton?
Yeah, it's sort of, I'd say it's a 70-30 split. I think most people do want him. But there's a lot of the sort of older generation that don't want him, and some have even said they don't even want to be a Rovers fan anymore, which is ridiculous. And I'm writing emails to the club about it. But yeah, most people are happy, including myself.
Is this because of the court case? looking from us, obviously we've been goading Fleetwood for quite a while about the fact that he had a court case coming up and he's going to end in prison and all this sort of stuff. So this court case has still got to happen. So are you just ignoring that fact? Do you think he's definitely going to get off, or are you taking a gamble, or do you just think you need him for the whatever happens if you lose him and he has to spend 10 years in strange ways or whatever? I don't think he's going to get that, but
Moorfield Prison's just up the road, isn't it? So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's sort of strange. I've heard a lot of rumors. I don't know because obviously Ben was at the game. I don't know if he's seen what happened, but I've heard rumors that he pushed him, and I've heard rumors that he's punched him. So I'm not exactly sure if he's pushed him. Then obviously it's fine, but some people have said that he's
the Barnsley game still.
Yeah.
Incident.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, I thought that was all over. Okay, fair enough. You letting this run out?
Nah. Yeah, it's still going on. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know if Ben knows more.
Absolutely no idea, man. It was at Barnsley away. I remember I was fuming at the time. I wasn't happy. I think I even called him a scumbag. I'll be honest with you, if that was true.
Is this going longer than Derby takeover?
If he's done something, I think it would have been done by now. I think, it needs to be cleared in the air because we need our documentary out. Personally, everyone's going, "Oh, where's your documentary?" Well, the court case needs to be sorted until it's out. But I'm interested to see how Barton does it at Bristol Rovers because he's got the character, but he's never had this situation before, and he's always had good players to work with. So. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of characters that don't want to be at Bristol Rovers, and there's going to be a lot of players that leave in the summer. I guarantee you there'll be 10 that go out and maybe 12 that come in at bare minimum.
To be fair, Rovers recruited pretty well in the summer, didn't they? On paper, they look like they
on paper.
Signings, 2 guys at the back, and it's just all gone pretty poorly, hasn't it, really?
What's the rivalry like in Bristol with Rovers and City? Are you more like Liverpool and Everton and kind of friendly, or is it absolute hatred like Celtic and Rangers?
It's bad. Trust me.
Is it?
Like if you've seen a derby game, the last derby game, even when we had, I think it was 2-1 City in was it the FA Cup, and it
Freight
was
Rover, wasn't it, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because some people don't realise how big of a rivalry it is. It's up there.
It's
up there. Yeah.
The best thing about it is, I remember Brett Ormerod was getting absolute pelters from Bristol Rovers fans going, "It's bloody Bristol Rovers, stop calling us Bristol."
Yeah, he kept saying Bristol.
It annoys me when people go Sheffield.
Really do my head.
You know what?
You don't call Manchester United Manchester, do you?
It doesn't bother me at all.
I can't stand it.
Whereas it's a city, isn't it? And people who don't come from Bristol, it's the city they live in, and so it doesn't bother me at all. If you're from Bristol, I think it matters a lot more than if you're a player who's come from somewhere outside. So.
Ian Barron is just in the chat. He's wanting us to say that he's a Darlington fan. And he's just saying how sad all the people in the stream have seen their teams play Old Darling FC in the league or cup games back in the day. Do you have any memories of playing Darlington? Back in their old stadium. Obviously,
I remember us buying Alan Walsh for 18,000 in a tribunal from them, and he's my favourite Bristol City player ever. So thanks to Darlington for.
There you go. There you go, Ian. You heard it.
I remember going to their new stadium, and they're in. I think it was the old Division 3 when we played them, and you turned up, and I think we were at Bellevue at the time, so an absolute shed of a ground. And then we turned up at Darlington. Is it 25,000 seater, all-seater stadium? It was just absolutely ridiculous. Like a little group of fans on the side, and then the away fans, and then just the vast emptiness of red seats. But no, it's a shame teams like that kind of drop down and
definitely
disappear. But I think if fans don't get back into ground soon, there could be more heading that way.
I remember actually watching an interview with George Reynolds, and he was talking about he was building this new stadium and everything. And his words were basically, he said, "Well, all we got to do," he said, "we just got to get get out of this League Two and into League One. It might be in the fourth division then, maybe, we're going to go out the fourth division into the third, and then just the third and the second, and then just one more, and we're in the top league. It made it sound like it was like so easy that you're just going to get up through all the divisions with this stadium, and it's just been the biggest white elephant and the biggest noose around the neck and all the rest. But I have memories of going to Darlington and getting promoted, and I also remember hearing Blackpool, I think we were there on the last day of the season, and we needed to win to get in the playoffs, and we won there, and all the we were all going mental at the end of the last game of the season. He actually came over and applauded the fans, so I remember that in the old ground. Yeah, he came over and applauded us for making it into the playoffs.
See, with the clubs not having any fans, I don't know what it's like with your clubs, but I find that a lot more clubs are spending a lot more money on their own TV and media sides, and increase the sort of professionalism on that. To bring revenue into the club, because there's clubs up here, they're selling match to match games, and like St Johnson, they were selling a game for like $14.99.
The only
so with a subscription, it's not that great, but it's money coming into the club.
Yeah, the only
I don't know what your clubs are like.
The Football League have their own one, which is iFollow, which all the clubs pretty much use. Now, it's not a great service, let's be honest. It could be a hell of a lot better, and I think some clubs could actually produce it better in-house.
They don't have their own. They've got like cameras.
You've done that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've got their own media teams. TV. I mean, even when I was working...
Yeah, just saying we've got...
Yeah, when I was working with club... Yeah, a lot of the clubs have got their own sort of TV and they stream it online. But I think it's more professional now, where they've got multi-cameras and... Yeah, definitely. I think every club should do it. But unfortunately with Sky, it's too much money.
Yeah. And the other thing you've got, especially in lockdown, they could actually save a lot of clubs if they had it in a house and they were doing it themselves.
Yeah.
But they could
definitely.
I know Lee do it. You say Robin do it. Who else do you say do it? Is it Sunderland?
Sunderland do it, and there's a couple of other clubs in this division. Charlton have their own CA or Red TV, something like that. They have their own, yeah.
Do they not do iFollow then, Ben, if they're doing their own? Do they?
No, Salford have their own.
I thought they had to be a part of
iFollow.
No, you don't.
Well, you don't. If you've got your own, you can do your own, because then, instead of that 70% you get 100% of it.
Well, we play.
Not every club in England are doing this then.
No, they're not.
Not every
club. But Blackpool aren't. We played Portsmouth on Saturday, and they had more angles than normally, because normally if you're watching iFollow, you've just got that one camera angle, haven't you, all the time, from the centre line, and it's going. Now they had other cameras, but to be honest with you, they kept changing to like a different camera angle, like say on a corner, they'd suddenly change to a camera which was like to the side of the goal, behind the goal, so all you could see was the players. You had no idea what was coming in. It was weird. And then there was one time where there was a free kick, and they were just focused right on the ball of the free kick coming in, and you couldn't see the free kick. I'm thinking, what? I can't follow this. I can't even see what's going on. And I thought, well, that's okay. You've got the angles, but you need to get a bit better with it, because you're showing the wrong things at the wrong time.
I think you'll see more clubs do it down the line. Yeah. Because I can't see people using the iFollow thing that much, because the amount of times if iFollow goes wrong, Twitter is mental.
Yes, it does go mental. Yeah,
that surprised me, because even clubs up in Scotland, the Championship, the lower divisions, a lot of them have their own sort of club TV channel where they just stream it online, and it's simple because obviously they'll have multi cameras, even as simple as a GoPro. Yeah, they'll put it behind the goal, they'll put it in different areas, and then they'll obviously edit it, so they'll get it sorted.
I mean, loads of non-league teams in England have it as well. I think the only thing with iFollow is like we've got loads of different camera angles, but ours sounds a bit like Portsmouth's. I mean, I've missed 2 of our goals because of iFollow, showing replays and stuff.
Replays. Oh my god.
Replays do my nothing.
They're always replaying when there's something good going on. You're thinking, what are they doing?
Oh, it's terrible.
So you've missed a couple of goals, have you, with replays? That's really bad, isn't it?
I mean, I think we've scored probably one of the least amount of goals in the league as well, so that doesn't do it any justice.
Oh God! We had a problem on ours with Siri on the Mac. He kept, if we said something like "sorry" or something that sounded like Siri, he would come on and he would just pause. He'd just pause the game.
Oh yeah, same.
No, we have
I had
to
that last week.
Yeah, did you? Keeps interrupting
I was literally doing a stream.
You have bigger problems in terms of what programs you broadcast in the clubhouse, though, don't you? So that's your problem.
I just thought I thought most clubs in Scotland, in England, would have that, especially in the lower divisions, where the fan base isn't as big as the bigger clubs, and the revenue for TV money, they would decide to do it themselves. So I thought it'd been a fairly sensible thing to do.
That's hiding you.
The revenue model's been agreed between each division, basically. So in the Championship, you basically get every bit of income that you sell. In League One, it's based on, certainly from an away fan's point of view, it's based on historical away support in terms of how much over the top of that goes to the home club or the away club. And then in League Two, it's 500 fans. Basically, they'll cover that for the away side, and then the rest of it goes to the home side after that. So we've all got different models. So I don't think they can do. You can't move away from it at the moment, and the part of the current iFollow deal, I don't think we were already outside of iFollow when it came in. So it's all a bit of a kind of a fait accompli to some extent, Peter.
Just got a couple of fans.
Basically, the league then have got a stranglehold on it.
Yeah. We opted out of it when it first came in, the latest TV.
I think
Tyler Rowlinson, the Charlton fan that's normally on, he's not on this week, but he just says that Charlton have got their own fan one. Lisa Howard, who is obviously a Derby fan, she's saying that they've got Rams TV, which is mega. So they are.
Yeah,
and,
Rams is really good.
Is it? Yeah.
I think a while back, every club had their own player. Donny Rovers had Rovers player, but like Dave was saying, I think the EFL brought iFollow in to try and distribute money more fairly, but I just think they've missed the mark, and some teams opted out when it first started to come in, and they're the teams who have now got the standalone channels, whereas everybody who kind of looked at the package and initially thought it was a good idea are now kind of stuck with iFollow, and unfortunately, I say unfortunately, we're one of them. I've not had any problems with it this season, unlike the other guys who have missed goals and stuff. I think we've done okay, but I think Robbie, as the commentator, helps a lot with that, and he gets players who aren't in the starting 11 or in the squad for the game. He gets them as co-commentators.
Having a good multimedia team already at the club running it, and I think that's where it helps. And I think there's some clubs that just are not there yet. It took some clubs so long to realise that Twitter was the best way to do get in-game
promotionals. Promotional stuff.
Yeah. I think for some clubs they're just not there yet. I think it should happen, but it depends how much of a stranglehold the EFL want to give clubs.
Yeah.
Do you think as well that every club has got a vlogger? There's all vloggers for these clubs, and they don't. I know Darlington, quite good with you, aren't they? They bring you in for a show sometimes, actually in the ground, don't they? Dapper, you actually go on there. Yeah. Now, I think that's good. I think that's really good. I think Ben, you as well. You've done stuff with the club, have you?
Yeah, I did an interview with on there. There's three cameras on it with Sheridan and Hunter, and I've obviously got opportunities to interview players since. So it's been really good.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, and I think they should embrace, the vlogging side of it as well. As well as doing the Twitter thing. It's.
Yeah, Donny had been great with me, especially this season, getting involved in pre-match shows and. Hopefully, a couple more projects lined up. But
you've been lucky to be able to go to the ground and walk in and go, "Oh, this is what it looks like."
You know what? They do the show.
Well, they're obviously looking at Ben's.
Sorry.
Go on, Dapper.
Yeah, they do the show quite early on, so I've not seen any of the players walk in or anything. Obviously, COVID security and stuff. So, but there is that feeling of walking, even though the ground's empty. There's just that feeling of walking into the ground, seeing the pitch, and hopefully it comes back sooner rather than later.
I'll tell you something. I don't know about you, but there's something very special about going in a ground when there's nobody in. It's like a cathedral. There's something. I think it's really great when there's no fans in at all. I was doing the pitch, reports a couple of years back now. They're doing all the pitch in the summer, and sometimes I was in just on my own. I was like, oh my god, I could just have my sandwiches here every day and just sit and look. It was a great place to be.
Well, for
okay. Thanks for coming on. Thank you very much. Just remind everybody again of your podcast before you go, and we'll try and get it. We'll put the links in as well down below.
At Forever Bristol City podcast or at Fev's Football on Twitter.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. It's been really good. We've just got Dore on tour. He's not coming on tonight, but he has put a question in. He's doing his own thing tonight with a prediction thing. But what's our prediction for Derby versus Nottingham Forest? How do we think?
Yeah, that's a big game, is it not?
Yep.
It is a big game, yeah.
I'll say Forest win. 1-0 sneak it.
It's going to be a 0-0, isn't it? I mean,
more than likely. It'll be a 0-0, and you watch something stupid like Rooney gets sent off for something stupid.
One each.
Go on. I don't know much about the two teams, but
it's at Derby, isn't it? I think Forest. 2-0 Derby. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Forest. I think
Derby pitch is really bad at the moment as well.
Is it?
Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that might be advantageous for
on Derby. Going into stadium when it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually cheaper for me and my missus to get married at my ground than it was to go to registrar and ground or church or something. So we actually got married at Hillsborough.
Nice.
Wow. So it was pretty.
You're loving your life. You're loving your life and your wife.
Yeah. Well, I think we can always call it.
Very good.
We got married there.
Your last Wednesday out as well?
Yeah. She's a Wednesday out and a Celtic fan, so I'm not bringing much up about Celtic because I might get divorced.
Right. We're going to talk tonight a little bit about. I know you mentioned the group chat, the VAR. We're talking about it coming down to the lower leagues and what you would like to see improved if we had VAR, or do you not want it at all? So I'll open it up to you guys.
If VAR is introduced, I'll stop going to football in League One. It's not football. VAR is ruining the game. End of discussion. You can't celebrate a goal. I'd rather talk about a refereeing decision than a refereeing decision. VAR, if it ever comes down to League One, it's just ruining the game. Goal line technology needs to come down. I think that's probably the best technology to have been invented. Different opinions, but I think part
of.
Can I just ask you a question?
I think part of the joy of being a football.
Yeah.
Part of the joy of being a football fan is just. I think part of the joy of being a football fan is having the after-match discussions and disagreements and over decision making. But I think it comes down to cost, and a lot of teams rely on league positioning. So if they have to rely on go to VAR for decisions like penalties and sending offs and everything else, it could make a difference with teams where they finish in the league with decision making. But as a fan, I would say no, because we all like the discussions. I think it's a training of. I think it'd be training of the people that are actually implementing it.
Yeah, the rules
and how they interpret it.
I mean, I was seeing a debate
about how people interpret it.
Somebody was debating, and they said, how they do it in cricket, where you can only have so many appeals. So, say for big moments, if there was a penalty decision, you could appeal it and have a look at something like that. But also you're only allowed, say, 2 appeals. So you're not going to waste them on stupid offsides and stuff. They would only be appealing and using it, and it should be the managers who are appealing, not the referees. What do you think of that?
But then you hold off and you hold off and you hold off to near the end of the game, and you're thinking, wait a minute, I might have to waste an appeal here. So
yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Before everything goes on, me and Dapper's got to jump off in a minute.
Likewise.
Point of view and my point of view to see kind of thing. So we've got that kind of point. Go on, Dapper.
So I brought this up in the chat, and I brought it up because on Saturday there were 2 stonewall penalties, handballs in the box, stonewallers, referee just waved them away, carried on. And for me, VAR at that point would have benefited us because it was quite early in the second half. And I think at that point we could have gone on and won it. Do I think we should have won the game on Saturday? No, I don't. I don't think we were good enough in the first half. But pivotal moments like that could make or break a season. And I think VAR, to a certain extent, benefits the game, but the rules are just not quite right for it at the minute. I mean, we see it time and time again in the Premier League where a hair offside. For me, there's got to be some sort of human error built into it. It can't be perfect.
It worked when it was the World Cup. Now they've just put far too many caveats into it.
I think they've destroyed the technology by changing the rules so much. And I think if they implemented the technology, as Jake just said, in the World Cup, I thought they did it really, really well, and it was quite seamless. Now it just feels like they're nitpicking at absolutely everything. The referees don't know if they can actually make a decision. The linesmen don't know if they can make a decision. I think initially it should be their decision to make. And then if it is a clear and obvious error, not a shoulder offside, then that's when VAR should be implemented.
And
I agree with Ben, though. Goal line technology should be through every single league.
And
that's
the big one,
especially with Frank Lampard.
Especially with
Frank Lampard's shot it in the World Cup. You should have had goal line technology then, because it was a bloody
it worked really well in the World Cup. And my point of view is I think it was an interview on 5 Live. They were turning around and said there'd been like 200 new rules added each season. And it's like, how are refs meant to control this? And it's take it back to how it was. Use it for clear and obvious. I wouldn't even use it for offside. Let it be a man-made decision that it's made a mistake. It's human. That's it. Because the technology takes it too far. It's too long. You're waiting ages. You can't celebrate a goal. You can tell. The big one for me was that penalty Man U got versus Brighton. You end the game 0-0. You don't look for that penalty. Game's done. Brighton managed to get the point. They're done. But that go back. The final whistle gone. For me, when the final whistle goes, that's the end of the game. It shouldn't be pulled straight back and then given them to win the game, because they've got no chance of going and winning it. That game is then done. And they need to have stricter control of it and stop just using it for everything. It's slowing the game down. It's getting more and more like NFL. They might as well start sticking adverts in the middle of it to make some of the money back, because it's where it's going.
Obviously, referees got the earpiece in, they get communication with people that are actually doing the VAR. Can a referee not just override it if they think, no, I'm just going to go with this?
Too many are going straight to the screen, though, just because they can. I think that's the thing. They can go look at it, so they're going to look at it now. And
they don't want the blame for making a mistake.
Yeah, I think they did. I think it's that whole thing. If they got the technology, they want to use it, but I think they're overusing it.
Yeah, there should be a margin of error built into that technology.
Why did VAR first come in? What was it? What was the 3 words?
VAR first came in for the clear and obvious.
Clear and obvious.
Yeah.
Good evening, Aaron, by the way.
VAR decisions are clear and obvious. I'd say less than 60%. You know what annoyed me yesterday? I follow Spurs, right? They spent 2.5 minutes looking at Jesse Lingard's goal. Anybody with decent eyesight, well, unlike me, could have seen that Jesse Lingard was 2 yards onside. And then I just personally don't get it. I think VAR's
I look back to that Spurs Newcastle incident. This is what led to the penalty that got Newcastle the point against Spurs. And this is what I refer back to, and this is sort of my point on VAR. It's not the technology that's wrong. It's the people that's running it. And if they're going to bring it into this league, they need to make sure the quality of refereeing is good enough. And you had that earpiece discussion about, they've got these earpieces, they tell the referees to look at the screen, override the decision, etc. Why is
just look at the screen? Personally, the referee should just look at the screen.
Yeah. Why is someone sat in a studio in London allowed to be the referee all of a sudden? They are the VAR official, not the main referee on the pitch, on there in front of the action. Why is the technology? Do we suddenly have a first official called RoboRef? Do we have a first referee called RoboRef or something? It's unbelievable. It was brought in for clear and obvious, not to take the referee's job. And it feels like that whole discussion again of, technology is going to take everyone's jobs. This is like them trying to prove them right. This is just the first step of them proving them right. And it should just be in for the clear and obvious. And like someone just said then, they take too long. They should put... If they take too long, if they keep taking ages, I'm expecting to see an advert for Krispy Kreme donuts midway through the decision.
Well, that probably
it's unbelievable how long they take. It's
why do they take so long and then get it wrong? This is what's annoying. I mean, if they're going to take a long time over it and debate it, then get it bloody right.
And this is where the refereeing comes into it. This is where the quality of refereeing comes into it, because it's not the technology, it's the people that's running it. It's the same with the Premier League. Why do we have absolutely moronic referees like Mike Dean and John Moss and whatever he is, Kevin Friend? Why do we have people like that are part of the same organisation that's been directed now by a man who made that bad refereeing decision for Arsenal Man United that had them bowled out for 49 back in the day, when he's now the director of referees? And I saw, and I don't know if you've seen this, I think it was a couple of months ago now, there was a tweet from a former Premier League referee. I don't know if he's done this for publicity or coverage or anything like that, but he's come out and actually exposed the Refereeing Association, and he's exposed the Premier League by saying, this is how we were told we had to make this many decisions to this team to balance it out for each team. And we were told we had to make this many basically match fixing. It was basically we had to make this much handballs for one team, this much yellow cards, this many red cards.
Who said this?
I can't remember his name, but he spent 13 years as a Premier League referee from 1990.
Bloody hell.
I saw it, and then DT from AFTV retweeted it, because I know he's mad about the referees after Arsenal getting screwed over week after week. It's unbelievable that it took a referee that's refereed at the top level for about 13 years between a certain period of time to come out and say, we've been told to match fix. I don't know why people haven't looked into that. And I feel like, and I said this about the EFL with Rick Parry, there needs to be an investigation into match fixing in football just to see where the investigation takes us, because I do have a gut feeling there is a certain level of match fixing going on in the Premier League, and it needs to be investigated.
And on that note, I'm jumping out. So.
Me too, mate.
Thank you very much,
guys.
See you later, Ben. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think we're losing Dapper as well. Are you on your way as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna
thank you very much, lads. Thank you much for being on the show.
See you later, Daniel. Much appreciated, mate.
Mark Halsey.
There you go.
Mark Halsey, that's the one.
Have a good
Thank you very much, Daniel.
So,
thank you.
Thanks for having us on. All the best tomorrow night. I hope you don't get what you want.
Come on, Daniel. 3 points.
What we want.
Daniel,
I'm sure
3
you
points.
Best of luck to you for the season as well. But
we need to continue it at Blackpool and then Ipswich at the
John
weekend.
Bostock to start.
We won't even give you a sticker rock tomorrow, Daniel. Trust me.
See you later, guys.
You know what?
See you later, Ben. See you later, Ben. Daniel.
I remember taking our lads to Blackpool. We went to the amusements. We up and down the promenade. Went and watched Rovers get beat 4-2. I don't know if you remember that game. It was 3 seasons back, I think.
Right, yes, I do remember, yeah.
Absolutely battered. And then we went to see the lights, and I tried driving through it, and it took absolutely ages. So I, for one, am glad that we're not allowed in stadiums at the minute, because I'd have probably wanted to go to Blackpool.
John Bostock to give us 3 points, Daniel.
Yeah, Bostock hopefully pull the strings. We will see.
I know last season you were last game of the season. You were all due to come in fancy dress, weren't you, as well? So it was a bit.
That'd have been a good one. It'd have been the one time.
It would have been a great vlog. I would have loved to have met you all down there in.
We
can't meet up, but so you're going for before you leave. You're going for a Donny win. What's your prediction then?
I've gone with a 2-1 win. I think.
That's my prediction.
We've stopped that rot, and I think if we take the second half from Saturday into Tuesday, we should be strong enough to get the win. But if we take the first half into Tuesday, it's yours for the taking, mate.
Right. Well, I just thought you play as well as you played against Fleetwood when you come to us. I hope it's the water in the northwest that puts you off or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway, best of luck for the season, but not for tomorrow. But thanks for being on.
Cheers, mate. See you in a couple of weeks.
Daniel. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. So there you are. So I've got rid of one Donny Rovers fan. I've got another one in. So we've got Aaron here who's joined the stream. You're forever Doncaster Rovers FC, aren't you? And you're also 18 Chal. You do roller coaster. So for me, anybody who does roller coaster channels and football channels, you're right on my street, mate. Honestly, to be honest, because obviously Blackpool, the king of the roller coasters, aren't we? At the end of the day, we are. One of the originals, aren't we?
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say Blackpool's one of the most famous amusement parks in the world? Yeah,
I'd say it's up there with Alton Towers and Thorpe Park.
Yeah, of course it's traditional as well, isn't it? With all the old wooden roller coasters as well, which I know a lot of coaster fans like to ride. Do you like Icon?
Hopefully, if I can get to a theme park this year, it'll be my first ever ride on it.
Oh my God! Well, I'll tell you what, you're in for a treat. You will love it. It's honestly, I would say it's the best roller coaster I've ever been on. It's phenomenal. It really is good. You must do it.
I've got Wicker Man and Nemesis and Swarm top of my list, so it's going to be hard to take over, but we'll see. Hopefully this year.
Yeah, well, apparently, I think they're announcing tonight that is it end of April, the theme parks will be open. So I think
April 21st. And to be fair,
we'll meet you.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Before we knew about general lockdown, I was planning on taking the solo trip to Blackpool for the February opening day, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to get out there as soon as possible. I'm praying for April 21st so I can be there on the first day.
Right, right. Okay, so we'll just get on to the football. We're still going on a little bit about VAR, but Ian Barron is saying that he's heard that VAR costs 100,000 per game. Have we heard something like that? Is it that kind of cost for it? I don't think the lower league clubs can afford that.
Yeah, but
it's just awful, though, isn't it?
It is awful, isn't it? I mean, it's just awful. I mean, I've spoken to Premier League, other vloggers of people of Premier League, and they just say it's just ruined the game where you've got to wait, to see if it's a goal. You can't celebrate you have to wait for the decision on everything. It's just wrong, isn't it? Surely they must see that.
But you see, the interesting thing is here, though, and it speaks on all levels as well.
Yeah.
When we had that World Cup back in 2010 with that Lampard goal that was disallowed because we didn't have the technology to see that, and then fans were screaming, bring in technology, bring in technology. Now I feel like the people in charge of football are screwing the fans in a way, and they're sort of pushing them into a corner because they've screamed for technology. They've brought loads of technology. They haven't done it the right way, but they're going to twist it, and they're going to say to fans, well, we brought in technology over the years. You've cried for it. Don't cry that you want it gone now. They're forcing us into a corner, and they are literally, and I've spoken about Rick Parry and the EFL. I can't believe, and it's mentioned there, 100 grand a week for VAR for lower to cost it. We just said we can't afford it. Why over the last 20-30 years has football suddenly become a sport where we have to afford something? Every single league should have to afford something. Every single league should have something at the proper levels. We shouldn't be affording anything. We're not some bloody charity case. We're a bloody football league. We're just as important as the Premier League, for goodness sake.
Of course we are.
But the Premier League having to pay 100 grand a week isn't that much. If you think
it's nothing to them.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
I totally
the thing
agree.
is, though,
drip in the ocean.
The thing is, VAR isn't. I don't think it's the problem. I think it's the fact they've made the rules so complicated that it's made VAR look bad. The fact is,
What would be your rules then? What would be? Let's just say we have to make. I don't know. How many rules should there be for VAR? Should we say like
one? One rule.
Just one rule. Just clear and
obvious.
obvious.
Get it right.
Yeah, just clear and obvious.
That's it.
Simple.
Anything else? Yeah. So anything else? Things that obviously are so hairline decisions that I mean, we've all been football fans. We've all been at a match, and everybody can see sometimes, can't we? An absolute definite penalty. 100%, and they turn it down. So that you should be able to appeal against.
There is one rule. There is one extra rule I will suggest.
Should we get rid of offside completely?
That'd be nice because you'll see so many poacher strikers in football. Well, there we go. But one extra rule I would say is if the referee is going to a screen and they're suggesting to override the decision, I feel that the referee should have the power to override their decision if they feel like they've got a better look at the decision than they have. If they're seeing if it's the wrong decision and they're saying it's the right decision, so basically they're making the wrong choice, and the referee can see that is the wrong choice, they should have the power to not listen to their mates up in London's Cantley Park and be able to actually stand there and say, no, actually, you know what? My gut feeling is that you've made the wrong decision by saying that. I'm going to go with my original decision. And then VAR, because they're not the actual referees of the match, should be saying, okay, we'll let you have that one. And then they made the right decision in the end. It could end up being the opposite way as well. But, you know, I think referees should have more power because at the minute, technology is taking all the power and it's ruining the passion of the game.
Let me tell you, you don't see Hawkeye at local tennis courts. You don't see video refs in rugby league outside the Super League, do you? So why should they impose it on clubs that are already struggling, aren't they? The Football League struggling. Go on, Luke. I know you want to make a point.
Yeah, there is two things we need to remember. One, it's all about the referee's opinion on what they're looking at, which it's never going to be totally, this is a penalty, because it's all about opinions. And also, there's going to be mistakes. You can't eradicate mistakes from football, because otherwise there'd be no goals and every game would be 0-0.
Well, maybe not to that extent, but I think the idea was to eradicate mistakes in football, but it's actually gone the other way around. It's making more mistakes than they made before they brought it in. I mean, there's always been, there's always been there's always been the chat in the pub about was he offside. I mean, if I'm being honest, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it as well, but when you're doing football vlogs, sometimes you'll be at the game and you'll say, there's just been like a definite penalty and they've turned it down. And then when you actually go to watch it on like on the Quest HD or something, you see it really wasn't a penalty and you've just seen it as it is. So we all make mistakes. You know what I mean? From the stand, we all think it was a foul or, it was a mile onside. It was never offside. And then when you actually watch it on a replay or something, you actually, especially if the cameras have been at your game and you see that, actually. Yeah.
And that's the passion of football. That's the passion that the Premier League's lost. We've all got, and now they want to try and take the passion out of us. But to be honest, even though we've got a terrible person in charge of the Football League, sorry, Premier League, you're not taking the passion away from us.
What do you think when you're talking about that as well? There's a bit of a backlash against the Premier League at the moment. Do you not think? I think people are tuning off it. They're not interested in it. I think people are getting very fed up with the amount of money and the greed and everything else. And you think they're all starting to shout, in the end, they're kind of killing their own thing, the Premier League. Because I hear lots of rumblings that people are not enjoying the Premier League at the moment.
The Premier League at the minute is just a £1 billion non-league.
Just let Alex say something.
It's revolved around money. Man City didn't. I've said it. I haven't got anything against them. They didn't win a title. They brought a title with their owners. And I mean, that Liverpool side last season is probably one of the best built-up squads over a number of years. Jordan Henderson come from Sunderland. He was there for a long time, and he built himself up. We saw Mohamed Salah. He was rejected by Chelsea. Sadio Mane and Van Dijk both coming from Southampton. But if you look at the Man City side, they just brought in big names that bought them the title. And with Pep Guardiola in as well, it feels as if the Premier League isn't what it was. I mean, Don't get me wrong. When I started watching football, Man City were, and I'm going to use them as an example because they seem to be the team with all the money, but they were just a small little club, not a small club, but for the Premier League, just a mid-table team, probably get a good run in the League Cup, FA Cup.
Yeah. But they weren't even in the Premier League all the time, either. They were, they were in lower divisions.
Yeah. Now it's like money. If you don't have the money, you're not going to be able to compete in that league. And I mean, you even look at teams like Everton who are spending hundreds of £1,000s and they're still only just clinching onto Europa League spot. So, and as well, VAR in the Premier League, I mean, it's something that as a football vlogger, I've actually experienced because we played Bristol Rovers on a Sunday last year. So Leicester were at home the day before. I thought, well, Wigan, they don't sell out many away games. So we'll go in the away end at Leicester with the Wigan fans. And Leicester were 2-0 up. Wigan scored and pretty good celebrations. And it didn't really look like it was a VAR, but the fans just seemed deflated. And in my head, I'm thinking, it's this league, championship. I think they were championship last season. So it's championship versus Premier League. Championship don't have VAR. Why are they having to put it in the FA Cup for some games when we play Bristol Rovers the very next day, there's no VAR.
Yeah,
So
no VAR.
I don't get why they've put it in different competitions. And with the Premier League, look, with all the money that the league have and the teams have, VAR is probably going to never go away unless they find something better. But I feel as if that money aspect of the Premier League has ruined that point of the game. And if that came into the Championship, I mean, the financial fair play wage thing that you guys had in League 1 and 2, I know they've taken it away now, but I thought that was a good idea.
I did. So did I. But people are all saying it's a great thing that they're taking it away. But I thought it was. I thought it is how it should be. You know, the clubs are just. They're all struggling. You know, football clubs are not making money. You know, and they're certainly not making money at the moment in the way things are. But
yeah,
it's.
I mean,
well, to be fair,
money to get promoted last season. We didn't really spend very much money. We were on a mid-table budget at best.
Yes, you were.
Like Sunderland have probably spent the most money in that league in the past couple of years. And
yeah, definitely.
Money doesn't always buy you success in football. You know, we all know that. It doesn't. You need a little bit of luck as well, because you can buy a £5 million player, a £10 million player. He can go out and blooming pull his hamstring. First game, he's out and out for the season. You know what I mean? There's no guarantees that these players you buy, and you know, you're bringing all these foreign players as well. And sometimes, you know, there's this cliquey in the clubs and everything. It can totally disrupt things. So money doesn't buy everything. I think you need team spirit. And I always admire any team that does it without spending money. I don't like the spending money teams. I really don't. But, you know, if you think back to it, you know, back in the day, you would say that United were the team that brought in the most money, and they were the team that won everything. Now they can't, because I think Gurney said in the comments that it's the fans that bring the money into the Premier League, but it isn't anymore. It's not the fans. They don't even need the fans anymore.
Just
don't need
all
them.
These sponsorship deals, isn't it? And all these deals and adverts. I mean, if it ever...
And rich owners, like multi-billion, you know, look at this owners of City. Jesus Christ. They don't need any fans at City, do they? Come on.
There's owners that don't care as well.
No, they don't care. I don't like it. We experienced it, obviously, as you know, Blackpool were in the Premier League, and if I'm being honest, I've said it a few times, I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the fact that we were on TV all the time, and my dad, bless him, he loved the fact that they were talking about us on everything. But they kept moving games. You know, you couldn't plan for, you'd have a game on a Saturday, then they move it to a Sunday, then all of a sudden they change it again to like a Monday night, and and then you had like weeks where you didn't have any football at all because there was international breaks and all the rest of it. And it just all, I don't know. And then, of course, the other thing that the Premier League did to us is, they unsettled Charlie Adam in the January window, and it really upset the whole thing. Liverpool tried to buy him. And I just think it's a very hard league to stay in without money. And
there's two major things. There's two major things that makes it worse at both ends of the football league pyramid.
Yeah.
The first thing is, I don't know if you've seen this or not, the 2021-2022 season, I think it's 8th place in the league, gets a spot in the brand new Europa Conference League, so another European competition to give an 8th place team more money. And with the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham dropping into those places, it's going to end up being another one of those big teams that's flying under the radar.
Still, aren't they? They're trying to keep them in the loop, aren't they?
I think the best club that's not a big club that could get that spot at the minute is probably like the likes of a West Ham or something like that. So, but West Ham are in the top 4, thank God. But at the other end, and this is something I'll share from my own experience, and again, this might be something you might have heard. The chief executive, Gavin Baldwin, came out in the last month and said, of all the money we were scheduled to receive around this period, we've not received all of the money we were told we were going to receive. And they've actually come out and said that some of that money has gone to bigger teams in League One.
Right.
What? Seriously, how is that fair? And the likes of Hull City, who's got an owner who isn't even a football fan, Sunderland, who's just been taken over, Portsmouth, who are riding 50-50 at the minute with Kenny Jackett, Peterborough that bottle it anyway, Ipswich that could get a US takeover, but at the minute they're stuck with Marcus Evans. So those clubs that are saving money and not spending on the bigger teams to try and get them back up to the Championship, they're getting more money when the fairy tale clubs like us, like Blackpool that have come back from the Oyston era, like the Fleetwoods, like the Bristol Rovers, we haven't received all the money, and that's resulted in a 6-figure significant downfall in this month. And I'm sat there thinking, first of all, thank you, Gavin Baldwin, for saying that, because it exposes once again that Rick Parry is a crime in football. And secondly, what is can there be no criminal investigation into this, or is Rick Parry going to do what he does with the Premier League and pay them off and bribe them or something? Because let's be honest, let's face facts. Rick Parry,
where we go on this.
Rick
accusing
Parry,
everybody of being, whether we think it or not, this is just our views, folks. This is just our views.
Yeah. Rick Parry is a former Premier League director. Let's remember that. We know he doesn't care about the Football League because he knows he's going towards the Premier League.
We think.
Yeah, we think. But in my heart of heart, I personally know.
Yeah, deep down inside there, you know. But we've got to be careful a little bit what we say. But it's Michael Haig is saying breaking news on the 17th of May they're going to allow 10,000 fans into grounds. Is that brilliant? We all happy about that?
I think that's a variable though. Like
it's only like Premier League, isn't it? If you've got
10,000 seater, it will be depending on the amount of. It'll be a percentage, I think, won't it? Of your crowd.
It's a quarter. It's a quarter because, like, say with Rovers, our capacity is 12,000, so we'll have like 3,500, 4,000.
Yeah.
Whereas Premier League, a quarter basically.
Did any of you have the 2,000 in your stadium?
We did at an away game, and a couple of our fans somehow got tickets to Wickham away.
Oh, right.
In the Wickham end, but that was the only game we've had fans in all season.
We did a 2,000 at Blackpool, and it was so socially distanced. There was nobody anywhere near anybody. You more or less had 2 or 3 rows to yourself. You weren't anywhere near anybody. You didn't meet anybody going in. Oh, hang on, we got Dore. Dore's coming in as a late. Here he is. Let's bring Dore in. Nottingham Forest. So. 2 Forest fans in. Hiya, Dore.
What's going on? I thought you lot finished.
Nope, we're still here.
We're still going. We just thought you'd bring in for the last probably another 5 minutes have we got or whatever. I don't know what time you guys want to get off. We can keep going.
No, I thought I'd come on. We've got a massive game this week, people. Massive game. This week.
Yeah.
Come on,
you score predictions, are you for your channel?
What?
Are you wanting score predictions through for your channel from any of these guys?
Listen to me, right? We know what the score is going to be. We're going to win 5-0. So that's
Doc, that's a question.
We're going to win 5-0. Simple as that. 5-0 to Forest. Lewis Grabbing scoring a laugh
on you.
What do you mean having a laugh? Listen to me. We're confident.
Dore.
I'm liking your top tonight, Dore. What's this?
Yeah, it's a nice top.
God, that is nice. Which one's that one?
This is a 95. It's a retro. 95. Yeah, it's 95.
Man of many shirts you are, Dore. How many football shirts do you actually own, do you think, of Forest shirts?
About more than 30.
More than 30. Very good. Good man. You get some crackers on you.
You missed my Rick Parry rant, Dore.
What do you mean, you Rick Parry? What do you mean? What did you do?
I ranted on Rick Parry. No further comments.
We almost had to stop him for fear of litigation. He was getting into the fact that he was as bent as a 10-bob note, I think, really, wasn't he? He was saying he's a crook and a thief and all the rest of it. But, that's the opinion of Aaron. So it's all opinions, isn't it? But
yeah, just my deep down opinions in the abyss of my soul.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, we've got Rotherham tomorrow, and then we've got the big one. We've got the big one on Friday. We'll win both, and that's how confident I am.
Good. I think Forest are playing a lot better. Forest are playing better.
Are you playing?
Rotherham. We're playing Rotherham on tomorrow, and then we've got that team from down the road on Friday.
Are you at Rotherham, or are they playing you?
We're at Rotherham.
Well, I reckon it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
At least you don't have to go, Dore. At least you don't have to go to Rotherham. At least you haven't got to go there.
I like Rotherham.
It's horrible. You're having a laugh.
No, it's not. It's a lovely away day.
Look, this is the most miserable bunch.
Lee, with scumbags.
Lee, you lot are wrong, man.
What's Alex saying? Sorry, Alex. Which is the worst
away game I've ever been to was Rotherham away. We lost 4-0. And at half time, the tannoy goes, there's no alcohol in the away end, so our fans are all pissed off. We're like 3-0 down. And they're not serving alcohol, and half of our fans are wanting to go home. Terrible. We got promoted that season.
We found it, honestly. We found it like going to Stalag 9. It's like going to Stalag 19. You've got horrible They wouldn't even allow Jane to pat the dog, the sniffer dog. Don't pat the dog. She likes any dog. They wouldn't allow that. And then we'd go inside, and there was this plumbing woman, this old bag, basically. It was the head of the stewards, and I was just trying to film the disabled facilities because they're amazing, and she was going, you can't have a camera in here, and they're watching on this camera up there, and you're on the big thing up there, you can't do this, put your camera away. And I'm thinking, God, you know what I mean, just give us a break. And they were just so miserable. The people in the kiosk were miserable, and yet Donny, different kettle of fish. My God, they were friendly. Honestly, unbelievable. Family zone and everything. But Rotherham, it was the most miserable. You watch my Rotherham video if you ever, and just see the end of it to see how happy we were.
I will watch it afterwards. But like I said, we'll beat Rotherham tomorrow. We'll beat them 4-0. Then we'll go to Derby on Friday. We'll smash them 5-0. Listen, I'm confident. I'm feeling confident, and
I'm not going to criticise Rotherham because they're South Yorkshire rivals. So that's criticism enough.
Listen to me. We'll beat them. Don't worry. Where's everyone else? Where's Cod Vlogs? Where's the rest of them?
They all went early. We're trying to give people a little bit. They don't have to be on for the whole show. So
okay. I just thought I'd come on and just take the mick out of everyone. That's all.
No.
I only came on half an hour ago.
Yeah, so we replaced. Cosvog said I couldn't have two Doncaster Rover fans on at the same time, even though we are playing Doncaster Rovers tomorrow. What's your score prediction on that then? What do you think? You're 2-1 as well, to Donny? Aaron?
Yeah, I'm going with 2-1. I reckon. I said in my preview tonight, I said my one change from that starting lineup would be Magic Gomez on the bench, John Bostock in the starting lineup to create that physicality. I said that there's a report gone out today in the last few hours that Okunabiri could be fit to be a part of the squad. I haven't put him on the bench because I think we've got too many good players on there. So I think it's just a case of Okunabiri gets a chance on Saturday against Ipswich, where we get to batter Marcus Edwards and Paul Lambert into the ground. So I can't wait for that one.
Ipswich are a very good side.
No, I think the Ipswich are going down, and their ownership's just making it worse. So I think the quicker they get this consortium, the better.
Yeah, I think they're looking at selling it, are they now? So they'll be all happy.
Yeah. In terms of goal scorers, then, I'm predicting Taylor Richards from 20 yards and Bogle gets his first proper goal, not a penalty. And then maybe you guys get a goal from from a corner or something. So
are you live streaming it tomorrow? Are you doing a live watch?
No, I'm not. I'm doing a match review.
Would you like to come on in the half an hour before we do the show, just to give your opinion on my show? Would you like to come on? Just pop on for
I'd love to, because obviously I can't do
it.
Yeah, I can't stream during the match because I'm watching the match. I'm keeping it, and about 5 minutes before the match, I was going to say 5 minutes before the match.
If you lose, you can come on after, but I'm not letting you on at the end.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, usually on a match day when there's no one.
Lee, you're such a loser. No.
He can come on.
I can come on. It's fine.
Here we go.
Usually on a match day, 5 minutes before I come on a match day, if no one's streaming, I'm usually on the football terrace talking to Terry. Right. But I'll be able to come on the stream, thank God. So and I usually watch.
Come on, Simone. Come on,
listen to me, right? Listen to Dore. Listen to me, right? If you lot beat 4-0, go on Lee's stream. Absolutely hammer him.
I've got analogies for days. Don't forget, I'm the guy that after we lost 4-1 to Sunderland, got angry at a car horn in the middle of the background. So I've got analogies for days. I've got Reece James's goal sweeter than Cadbury. I've got Josh Sims putting more silky attacks than a slinky dog. Mate, I'm ready. I'm prepared and ready.
Right.
I'm like DT. I'm like DT.
We'll bring you on in the half an hour pre-show.
Before I go, Lee, yes. What do you need to do for me before I leave?
I am going to do you a score prediction tomorrow.
You better do, because people in this, right? Lee is the worst of replying because I
replied. Give over.
Dore, send him on Twitter.
Listen, I send this guy so many messages and it takes a week to reply.
No, Dore. Have I replied to you? Have I replied to you today? Come on, be honest.
Why? Wait. Let's keep it real. The reason Lee's replied because he had his WhatsApp notifications off. So this is why.
Exactly. I didn't have the notifications on, so now I've got them on. So
now he's got them on. Lee, I need it by Wednesday. If you haven't got it by Wednesday night, you're not in it, and that's simple as that.
I will do it tomorrow afternoon for you. I've got to sort wigs out and everything. I can't just do a normal one. You know me.
the Donny fan, the Bristol City fan, and the Coventry fan, if you want to do a prediction on my channel,
Bristol City, you're having a laugh, aren't you?
Get in there, Bristol Rovers. It's like Ian Holloway
we got
being on the
Ball
screen
now.
Sorry, Luke, I'm
upset him now calling Bristol City.
No, it's like sorry, Luke. It's not just. It's just I need rival fans for my channel. That's why I need
So Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
The Bristol City. I need the Bristol City fan.
No.
Wait,
it's not Bristol City. It's blue. It's not bloody red.
I know he's
just because you only see red.
I know he's Bristol Rovers fan. I know who he is. Don't worry about that. I just winded him up. But I'm doing a vlog. So if you want to send a 30-second vlog of what you think the score will be Saturday, send me it by Wednesday.
It promotes
your channel. Well, and Dore, aren't you the fan that retweeted my Football Terrorist public appreciation video today?
I don't know.
So I think I remember seeing Brandon Dore, Nottingham Forest fan.
No, he's Ben. He's Ben.
I'm Ben. Who's Brandon? I don't know who he is.
I saw another Dore. Dore.
No, I'm number one.
There can't be another Dore in Forest, surely. There's only one. We couldn't live with bloody two.
Yeah, there's only one.
There's only one.
Right, 2 doors in Forest, Jesus.
I got another Dore who's a Nottingham Forest fan, yeah.
No, you haven't. Don't lie.
There's an identical Dore, surely.
No, wait. I've got to no. Don't go off here. I'm looking. If I'm going to make a complaint.
I just need to post this. Matt Pierce, he's a Imps fan, he's a Lincoln City fan. He says a 40% drop in the budget, but the Imps are doing it the right way. Youthful squad with potential, resale value and quality, technical football that will progress as the team does. I think that's absolutely right. I think you're doing a brilliant job. If you can do it that way, Matt, then I think we're big fans of Lincoln. They actually won our away day of the year for Lincoln fans.
What's his name?
Who?
I saw
Aaron. What's his name?
I think his surname was Dore. But if you look on my Twitter, I think you'll see the post.
I am looking at your Twitter. I can't see no one.
Oh, okay.
On the retweets bit.
I am looking at the retweets bit.
Is there a Nottingham Forest? There's a Nottingham Forest fan there.
Cleggy, there's Cleggy retweeted.
Yeah, there's another Nottingham Forest fan, surely.
There's match day with Fogden.
I didn't even know he retweeted that, to be honest. I looked in ages.
Match day Max. I call him match day with Fogden because he's bumped with Fogden. That's all.
I thought I saw another Dore at some point.
No, you're wrong. So stop lying.
Michael Hay, here we are. He's saying we can say this. A quote from Michael Hay that he says they're all crooks and we'll end up getting just like Oyston, like Sean Harvey Parry. They'll all go the same way. They're all a bunch of corrupted.
I can't see it.
Thank you, Michael.
Thugs. So yes, there we are. Even our viewers are of the opinion they're corrupted thugs. I mean, not only them, but if you think of FIFA, they're even more. Come on, they're more bent than anything, aren't they? I mean, ridiculous how they've managed to police themselves. You know what I mean?
And the Professional Match Officials Association have got some 50-50 people in there.
Yeah, they probably have. I mean, there's where there's money, there's always corruption, folks.
Lee, there's a question from Neil. Is Turton optimistic as Dore or more realistic? Luke's more optimistic than me, aren't you, Luke?
I don't know, Dore, because you just said we're going to beat 1 by 4 and 1 by 5, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Listen, right. If Forrest win 5-0 on Friday, I'll do a forfeit.
After seeing Forrest against us, I think they'll be lucky to get 2 goals.
Listen, did we beat you?
Excellent.
Do we beat you? Do we beat you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Wait, did we beat you, right? We beat you, right?
You did beat us.
Okay, that's all.
Come on, Alex, spill the beans. What were they like, Forrest? Then come on.
You're on a worse pitch against Derby. It's a Derby game, so Derby are going to be more up for. I've said the word Derby about 4 times. Against us, I'm not just saying this. You probably didn't deserve to win.
Here we go.
Luke will agree with me. You'll just be biased to Forrest. Luke will agree with me.
Luke, Luke, come on, please. Luke.
No, he's right. We played so poor but managed to win.
Luke, what have you been drinking?
I'm just being realistic, Dore.
You're like Craig Price,
Oh
man.
my God.
Waste, man. Listen to me,
Yeah,
right?
people like Craig.
He's only been on 5 minutes. He's causing more chaos than the old.
To be fair, I didn't give my prediction for Rotherham, Nottingham Forest. And who have you got after Rotherham?
Derby.
Derby.
In the-
Derby.
Derby in the Derby.
Two 6-pointer games. Rotherham, I think, could get back on form. I'm going for a 3-2 Forest win, but I think it'll be quite end-to-end at times. Derby, I reckon Nottingham Forest will edge that because I think Derby might start going on a bad run of form. But
Exactly.
I think Rotherham's a tougher test, but I'll just say this. I'm not going to criticise Rotherham because they're rivals anyway, so I can criticise them just by being rivals.
Listen, let me be real. Rotherham, I think Rotherham will be more of a test than Derby. I know, yes, East Midlands Derby's form goes out the window, but I don't know why I'm confident. I think if we get a good result against Rotherham, I'm still going to be confident against Derby. Because I hope Rotherham go down because they've got one of our former players that stood on a contract and then left eventually anyway. So I want to see him go down to League One and see how it feels.
Kieran Sadler.
I haven't said this in like nearly 12 months, but he's the Irish Messi.
Luke, let's ask you a question for Luke. Are you not confident against Derby?
I'm confident. I just don't think we're going to win by the same score you've said. I think we're going to win 2-0.
5-0 Forest.
5-0 Forest, man.
5-0 Forest.
How many 5-0s have you had this season, by the way, Forest?
None.
None. So we're just going to pull out all the stops against Derby.
Yeah,
Derby have pulled up, have improved recently.
Derby are on fire, aren't they?
They are.
They're on better form than Forest as well.
Wait. What happened to the last game?
They beat Wigan, didn't they?
What happened to the last game? Let's see. You don't even know, do you? Look at it. Go on Sky Sports. Thank you very much. Luke, tell him again, Luke. Tell him again.
Yeah. 2-1. 2-1.
Did they lose?
That was a close game.
Plus, they're on better form than Forest as well.
Did they lose?
Yeah, by 1 goal, but they're on better form than Forest.
Did they lose?
They're on better form than Forest.
Did they lose?
Mate, you're worse than Alex, who's the Tottenham Town football terrorist, and he's interrupted Terry about 30-40 times a day.
The loss, and that's all that matters. We won. We won against Blackburn on Saturday, didn't we, Luke?
You did.
Yes.
Right.
We don't mind that. We don't want that.
Let me guess, Luke. You're going to say we didn't deserve to win that.
We scored.
No.
We scored, so of course we
Didn't even give a chance to answer.
But we did more in the Swansea.
No, Aaron. The reason, Aaron, because I know what Luke's going to say. I've read his mind. So
What's he going to say?
Oh, we was okay. We was all right.
Yeah, because Nottingham Forest is at the bottom of the league under Chris Hughton playing boring ass football.
Right. Do you know what? Do you know what's
the impersonation? Can we have that again, please? That was.
Do you know what's been happening? Right, you're a Donny fan. Do you know what's been happening at Forest?
Well, I know we've been playing better football.
No. That's my question. Do you know what's been happening at Forest?
I do, yeah. I've been keeping a close eye on it because I know the former manager before Chris Hughton went on a bad run of form. In my opinion, I think they should have kept him because I think Chris Hughton doesn't play a good style of football for the type of talent Nottingham Forest are trying to develop to get to where they were in the glory days, which is Premier League level.
Well, the talent they've brought in isn't Premier League standard. It was Premier League standard 5 years ago. Some of the
exactly, and that's Chris Hughton, and that's Chris Hughton for you. That's the man, the myth, the no legend.
You're saying to me, Chris Hughton will get Forest up?
Not anytime soon.
No, it'll take you down. It'll take you down, not up.
I think we're going to get to the Premier League before Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, be good. Now this guy, why you brought this Doncaster from? When was the
last time you were in the Premier League, Dore?
No comment.
We've never been in, and records are there to be broken.
That was in 2010, but when were Forest in it?
97, 98 season.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? It's a shame, really. It's a massive club.
Listen to me.
Brett Ormrod say how big it was. It was incredible.
No, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that interview. I really did.
Yeah. It was good, wasn't it? It was a bit like having a chat with him as a mate in the pub, which was the idea of it. I didn't want it to be all structured.
I've done an interview with Forrest. I don't know if you remember. Is it Aaron? Keith?
Yeah.
He played for Doncaster. He did.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember looking through the archives of that.
So he played for Bunker. So he was a good man. Good stories for Forrest as well.
Yeah, really good.
And I've got some more lined up, but I'm not saying nothing yet.
Good on for you. We're trying to get a few more, and they're really good if you can get some like former players on the. They love coming on because because they don't get the they live normal lives now, and to come on and talk about the days they were on they love it.
The worst thing about it, like people won't know who Keith Foy is, but on a day stream I got I think it was 400 views from it, and that's the best views I've had so far in one day. So
that's really good.
I'm trying to get Ricky Lambert on.
Oh yeah, well Ricky Lambert was YTS at Blackpool, and we let him go. He was one of those that he was let go, and what a stupid decision that was. He came to be one of the best players ever, didn't he? He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Blackpool fans knew he was a good player, but they always let him go. They wouldn't give him a contract from his YTS, and so he went off. And every credit to him. Right, we're coming up. We're getting for an hour and 45 minutes.
Right, I've got
had you on all.
I've got to go because I've got so much editing to do. So
I think we're all
nice chat done.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on and causing chaos, Dore, for at least
see this guy. He always bullies me, people. So people in the comments, go for Lee. This is wrong, man.
This is like Claude versus Ty all over again.
I'm actually pleased. I'm pleased you came on, Dore. I'm not giving you stick. I'm just saying thanks for causing the chaos.
Lee, I'll see your video on Friday. Yeah.
You'll have it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I promise. You heard it here first. My video will be with Dore tomorrow, and if it's not, then you can you can call me out. But I'll have it done tomorrow, Dore. I've just had a lot on today because I had to do my own video this afternoon, and obviously get ready for this. But tomorrow I've got a free afternoon, and I'll do it for you, Dore.
No, it's no rush. I just need it by Wednesday night. But yeah, if anyone else wants to send videos, send me a mail. I'll get you.
Can I do it as you?
Yeah, I'll send you one.
If you want to. If you want to. Feel free.
I've got a great afro wig that I could come on that I used to use for my Steve Sensation.
Listen, look at my trim.
Yeah, I know, but if I'm going to do
look all that grey, Dore.
I've got to put a moustache on and
I've got the Chris Kamara look, so
I know. Well, it's got to be a bit bigger than afro, but I might just do it as Dore. If I can find a moustache, I might just draw one on and do it for ridiculous.
Lee, you know that you know we do three personalities.
Yes.
Do the geeky one. Do that one. No, do that one. Do that one.
Which one? The one with the hat. What? Yeah. The London guy.
Yeah, the London guy. Do him. That'd be a good one.
I'll come up with something for you.
All right.
I'll come up with something daft.
All right,
I'll play with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cheers, Dore. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for watching. I think we're going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for Alex coming on. It's been a pleasure. I know you've managed to get the odd word in there along the way, and it's been a pleasure having you on. And thanks to Luke for bringing you on as well. To Aaron, who may get us all sued. I don't know. But we've got just before we go, Tyler Ellison, well done on your 3 points against Charlton this Saturday. He's not confident, is our Tyler. He won't come on. Tyler, if you want to come on, you can talk about everything other than Charlton if you want. If you want to come on and just talk about VAR and everything, we won't tie you down to talking about Charlton if it's too much for you. But and if you do beat Blackpool on Saturday, then you can come on with pleasure and give me loads of stick. I don't mind at all. So thanks for everyone's time. If we're going to get off, we'll go to the closing scene, and if you want to stay on behind, lads, we'll have a little chat after if you want to hang in there, but we'll go to the closing credits if I can find them. There they are. Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks to all the guys. I'll put the links I'll try and remember to put the links of all your channels in. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week, same time, 8 o'clock for the next Football Vloggers podcast.